to Beasley Coliseum on the campus of Washington State University as the women's basketball season officially gets started today for the Washington State University Cougars. And after back-to-back trips to the NCAA tournament, the Cougars are going to try and make it 3 in a row. And this afternoon, they welcome in the Loyola Marymount Lions. Hi again, everybody. Steve Grubbs coming to you from Pullman, Washington, as we get ready for Pac-12 basketball. For the Washington State University women's basketball team, they get ready to open up their season, and they've got some new faces, but some returners as well, including Tara Wallach, who you see knocking down a three, and of course the likes of Charlize Ledger-Walker and Bella Muricatete. For the Cougars, again, one exhibition game in the books, and now they get ready for one home game before hitting the road, and they'll take on Loyola Marymount here this afternoon, and the Cougs are primed and ready for another successful season on the Palouse. There are some new faces, but again, the Cougs will be led by the likes of Bella Muricatete, who was named honorable mention, and boy, did she have a good opener in the Westmont exhibition, scoring 26 points and 10 rebounds for a double-double. Again, honorable mention, all Pac-12. Charlize Ledger-Walker, of course, she was all Pac-12 and looks to be the leader for the Washington State University Cougars again, and she, too, had a good day against Loyola Marymount. The Washington State University Cougars, under head coach Cami Etheridge, have had unprecedented success, including back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances, and yes, indeed, they're picked to finish 7th in the always tough Pac-12. That's according to the Pac-12 preseason poll. Cougars are going to try and be better than even that. The season opens today against Loyola Marymount. Starting lineups and the opening tip-off next on Pac-12+. Washington State, home white uniforms, crimson numerals, gray trim. Meanwhile, for Loyola Marymount, they're going to be in their black uniforms with the red numerals, blue trim, and also blue lettering. 3 officials getting ready for today's game as well. Lisa Jones is the one familiar face out there. It's not listed who the officials are, but they are getting the players all set up. Bella Muricatete will jump it up for Washington State, and jumping it up for the LMU Lions, it's going to be Carrie Clark. So Kari out of Denver, Colorado, will jump it up for LMU. Bella, a little bit of a height advantage there. I think the Cougs could perhaps win the tip as we get the 22-23 season underway. All right, ball in the air, a little bit of a false start from Bella, but she ends up getting it on the second go, and Washington State does indeed take the opening tip, and we're underway for the 22-23 season. Tedder off the screen, brings it out to the top of the key to Charlize Ledger-Walker. They find Bella on the baseline. Cutting goes Charlize. She'll pick it up in traffic. Now will start to make her way into the paint. Kicks it out. Tedder, 3-ball on the way. Got it! Well, the Cougs didn't shoot all that well from downtown in their exhibition, but the start this afternoon is good as Tedder drains her first shot of the season. And the Cougars open with a triple, and it's 3-0 in favor of Washington State. Now it'll be a chance for the LMU Lions, and right at the top of the circle, draining one herself, is Ariel Johnson. That'll be a 2 from about 19 feet away, and it's 3-2 Washington State. Just getting things started here on a Monday. Both teams look to be matched up here as we get things started. Pass goes inside to Bell, loses the handle on it, and can't save it from going out of bounds. So the Cougs, with a turnover, give it back over to LMU. Again, doubleheader here today. The men to play later this afternoon. We're just getting things started. Again, if you can hear me and you're in the Pullman area, it's free admission today if you want to come on by. Meanwhile, a little bit of initiation of contact by LMU, but they're going to draw the foul, and they're also going to draw a couple of free throws. So the foul against Washington State. Looks like they're going to whistle that one on Charlize Ledger-Walker. That's going to be her first. Meanwhile, to the free throw line will go LMU. They're a team that likes to draw fouls, and Ariel Johnson will head to the free throw line. 5'9" grad player, transferred in out of Florida. First free throw on the way, up and good. So she's got all 3 of the LMU points as we're now even at 3 apiece. Minute gone by here in the opening quarter, and the next free throw up and good, and Ariel Johnson gives LMU a 4-3 lead. Now the Cougs with a little bit of backcourt pressure that they'll work their way through. Tedder brings it across the timeline, swings it over to Wallach out high on the right. Back to Tedder, top of the key, open, lets it fly, got another one! Johanna Tedder didn't get a chance to play in the exhibition, and she drains her first 2. She's got a half a dozen, and the Cougars now leading 6-4. Pass comes out to the top of the key to Rodriguez. Back over. Now a long two put up. That one's well off the mark and off the backboard from Clark. Rebound to Washington State, and they'll push. Up court to Wallach. She's open from three. That one is good. Nothing but the bottom of the net for Tara Wallach, and the Cougs have 3 triples, and now a 9-4 advantage here in the opening quarter. Pass goes in low to Clark, working against Bella. Over for some help comes Charlize Ledger-Walker. Clark loses it out of bounds. They say Bella got a piece of it before it went out on the baseline, and it will stay with LMU. Sequoia Allman will check into the contest. Nicole Rodriguez will head over to the bench. The Cougs, who struggled from the three-point line in the exhibition, a perfect 3 for 3 from beyond the arc so far here today. And Mount's pass comes in. Allman will take over. She'll take it out to the top of the key to set up the LMU offense as the shot clock has moved its way down to 10. Comes off a screen over to the left wing. Now will penetrate between a couple defenders. The kick out. Now out to the right wing. Shot blocked away by Charlize Ledger-Walker. It caroms over into the corner. And as the shot clock expires, the shot off the heel of the rim, no good from LMU. Wallach and a couple of Lions go after the rebound, and it squirts free to LMU. So they'll get a second chance at it with the shot clock at 20 and winding down. With it is going to be this time Ariel Johnson. Tries to get it into the corner. Clark has it there at the three-point line. Will put up a deep two. That's off the front of the rim. Ula Matuga had it. Ball lost. Now it's going to be tied up in the middle as it was Cassie Gordon flying after that ball, as it looked like Ula was going to have it. And then thanks to the hard work of Cassie Gordon to tie things up, LMU will get it off the alternating possession arrow since the Cougars got the opening tip. LMU will inbound on the baseline. It will be Allman doing the inbounding. Looks to get it in. All the way out to the top it comes to Gordon. Gives it back to Sequoia Allman, and LMU will set up their half-court offense. Shot clock, of course, off the jump ball. It's now down to 9. Now it comes to Gordon. Hits a cutting player inside. Now back out to the right wing. A 3-ball on the way. That's off the mark. No good. Another offensive board, but a block by Bella Maricatete. And again, LMU's been down on this end of the floor forever. We'll get another crack at it. Another fresh 20 for them to work with. It's going to be a drive in. Shot put up over Wallach. It hangs on the rim and falls off. And this time the Cougars will clear the miss of Ariel Johnson. Push it ahead. And Sequoia Allman is going to save it to a teammate and is going to force a Cougar turnover in transition. Good hustle by LMU on both ends of the court, that time forcing a turnover. They've had the more opportunities so far. They're just 1 out of 8, though, while the Cougars were a perfect 3 for 3, and all 3 of their threes are threes, if that all makes sense. And speaking of a 3, Alexis Mark hits a triple, and that'll bring LMU within a couple. It's 9-7. 6 1/4 minutes left to play here in the first stanza. It's 9-7 Washington State. Now a 3-ball from Charlize Ledger-Walker off the iron, no good. Bella with an offensive rebound. Spins, gets it back out to Tedder. She goes to Matuga, now to Wallach. Baseline jumper from 10, a little bit short. And we're going to have a rebounding foul call on Bella Maricatete. So Bella's going to pick up her first. That'll be the second against Washington State. Meanwhile, into the contest will come Amaya Oliver, Richmond, California native. Played at USC before transferring to LMU. Another substitution in as well. Layla Curry makes her way in. She's one of the new ones for LMU. Just a freshman for second-year head coach Erica Hughes. With the ball, Loyola Marymount. Ball almost tied up by Charlize Ledger-Walker, but they keep control of it. They being LMU. Comes out to Allman at the three-point line. Screen coming. Now passes near side. Driving baseline, ball challenged and blocked and taken away by Ula Matuga. The outlet to Tedder. She's going to start to drive to the paint. Little stop and go move. Lost the basketball, but it last touches LMU. 5.5 left on the first period clock. It's 9-7. Washington State with the early advantage here in the opening game of 22-23. Inbounds pass to Ula Matuga out at the top of the key. Now comes over to Tedder. She's got a three-point line extended. Back to Charlize Ledger-Walker. Fires up the three. That's going to be an air ball and miss out of bounds. And we get the Cougar debut of one of their freshmen, Estera Tuhina, checking in. Hometown of Pristina, Kosovo, then played in Spain. So A lot of international ball for Tuhina. Now gets her first minutes officially in the regular season as a Washington State Cougar. There's a hard screen, and that's going to be an illegal screen whistled on Amaya Oliver. Amaya will be whistled for the bad pick. That'll be her first against LMU, and the Cougs with 5:12 left to play in the first inbound, working with a 9-7 lead. Tuhina gives it to Tedder. Tedder over to Charlize Ledger-Walker. Inside it goes to Bell at the high post. She starts to penetrate in all the way to the rim and lays it up and in with the right hand. Bella has her first two, had a double-double in the exhibition win, and now has extended the lead out to 11-7 Washington State here as we're past the midway point in the opening quarter. Over at the right wing, LMU will hand off. It will go into the hands of Yancey. She gets it to Oliver. Free throw line jumper on the way off the front of the rim. Has her own rebound, though. Puts it back up and in. And it is the LMU Lions attacking the boards early on in this one. As a matter of fact, that is their fifth offensive rebound, and they're out rebounding the Cougars 7-4 here in the opening quarter. That bucket brings them to within 2 at 11-9. Tedder to Tuhina, top of the key. She's going to penetrate in. Dishes it to Bella. Bella fakes. Now spins to the right. That's off the glass, but a little too hard. Rebound to Wallach. Puts up a shot in traffic. And the rebound this time coming down to Oliver of LMU. They'll bring it into forecourt. And a little shuffle of the feet. That time against Alexis Mark will be a travel, and that will give the ball back over to Washington State. First in-game timeout of action here from Pullman. We've got 4:01 left to play in the first. It's Washington State 11, Loyola Marymount 9, or I should say LMU 9. So we're back in Pullman and ready to go. 11-9 in favor of Washington State with one tick more than 4 minutes left to play here in the opening period. The Cougars at 44%, LMU just shooting 25%, but it's LMU up on the rebounding, 8-5, including 5 offensive boards. And again, it's a 2-point Cougar lead as we resume action in Washington State with the basketball. Motuga gives it to Grace Sarver, checked in during the timeout. Now to Tahina out high on the left. Wallach in the corner, gives it back over here to the left-hand side, and I got that taken care of. Off to Charlize Ledger-Walker, who hit the three, and it's another three for Washington State. So Charlize Ledger-Walker with a three, and the Cougs now with a 14-9 lead. That's the first three for Charlize. So the Cougs off and running from the three-point line, now 4 out of 6, and it's 14-9. Pass is now for LMU is going to come from Almond. Almond is going to instead drive it into the free throw line. Still working against Sarver. Will initiate contact. Misses the shot. Gets her own rebound. That one won't go. Weak side rebound to Ula Matuga. Now Charlize Ledger-Walker will bring it up court. Going to drive past a couple defenders. Contact, and now an offensive foul going to be whistled on Charlize. Had one earlier, so a second first period foul on Charlize. Trio of substitutions in now for LMU as they will continue to shuffle bodies in and out. For the time being, Charlize obviously a very intelligent player, but now playing with 2 early first period fouls, just over 7 minutes into it. And it will be Allman who brings the ball up into front court. Allman gives it to Ariel Johnson, guarded by Tuhina. Now to the high post, trying to get around Ula Matuga. Can't. Shot put up, won't go. Wallach clears the rebound. Outlet to Charlize Ledger-Walker. She takes it up the far sideline for the Cougars. Now Tuhina with it. She's got it out high on the right. Gets a screen from Matuga. Into the corner to Sarver. Now enters it to Matuga. Back out to Hina. Open for three. Top of the key three. Off the mark, and the rebound down to Sequoia Ullman. She'll bring it the other way for LMU and will go all the way to the bucket, but can't finish. Rebound to Matuga this time. Sarver gives it up to Wallach, who takes it into front court. Back to Sarver in the corner. She's got a three-point line extended to Wallach. High-low to Tara Wallach. Open for the land, but blows it. Can't make it. Rebound comes down to LMU, and there to come down with it's Kari Clark. Cougs by 5. They've played relatively well, but a couple little opening game things that haven't quite gone their way to extend this lead to this point. Up by a handful, though, with 1:40 to play in the first. Johnson will let go a long two, and that one's good for Ariel Johnson. She's got 6 of the 11 for LMU. Put that one down as a 3 on the stat sheet, but it was actually only a 2, so it's 14-11 here as Ula Motuga with it out high on the right. Now it comes to Wallach, top of the key. Over it goes to Motuga. Motuga going to try and get around the defender. Kicks out to Sarver. She's going to penetrate in, and a tough shot in traffic going for Grace Sarver. So Sarver makes it a 5-point Cougar lead, 16-11. Ball goes over into the far corner where Cassie Gordon has it, takes it back out to the top. Here in the first half, as we see things here from the press table, LMU going right to left, and there's a long-range 2 good from Kari Clark. So that 2-pointer put through, and it's 16-13 now. And back the other way, Charlize Ledger-Walker can't finish at the other end. Rebound to LMU. Ball poked away from behind by Tuhina. And now it'll be the Cougars back into front court. Inside it goes to Charlize Ledger-Walker. Motuga trailer, straightaway 3. Got it! Ula Motuga. How about a 5th 3 of the quarter for Washington State? And it's now 19-13 in favor of the Cougars. So up a half a dozen and down to the final possession of the opening quarter. With it out high on the left is going to be Ariel Johnson. Johnson working against Ahina. Will put up a deep 3. That one's off the mark, and the first quarter has come to a close. 5 threes from Washington State in the opening 10 minutes. And thanks to their sharp shooting from beyond the arc, they'll take a 6-point lead into quarter number 2. Our score at the end of one, it's Washington State 19, LMU 13. We thank you so much for tuning in from Beasley Coliseum, as that's the end of a quarter. You're listening to Cougar Women's Basketball from Learfield. Cougars again 5 of 8 from downtown, overall 7 out of 15, 47%. LMU 5 out of 19, 27%. Rebounding numbers, that is in favor of LMU, 12-9. Each team with 3 turnovers in the opening quarter, and the Cougars will start with the basketball up by a half a dozen as we open quarter number 2, and we see the Cougar debut of Kira Gardner, who is out there on the court for Washington State. And it goes to Bella Maricatete, spins to the left, puts it up with the left hand, and that one good off the glass for Bella. And the Cougars have their biggest lead of the afternoon now, up 8, 21-13. So we saw Tuhina make her debut in the opening quarter. Now to open the second quarter, Kira Gardner, the freshman from Raymond, in there. And there's a shot in traffic from Ariel Johnson, who's been, again, the leading scorer from LMU. She's got 8 of their 15 points. And once again, LMU closes to within 6. Sarver to Tuhina. She's got it between the circles, over to the left wing. Back to Sarver, now into the right side, right of the paint. Bella will make her way inside, misses the shot, goes after her own rebound. Will get the rebound, puts it up and in, and you can count the basket along with the foul. Well, you mentioned the second chance opportunities for LMU. This time it's Bella creating her own second chance opportunity. She goes and grabs the rebound and now has put up all 4 points for the Cougars here in the second quarter and has 6 total in the game. Again, last year, a little over 10 points, and on the rebounding side of things, 7 boards per game for Bella. Now to the free throw line, and her first free throw up, and that one is good. Bella's free throw percentage has continued to climb every season as well. 52% her freshman year, 70% a couple of years ago, and then a 72% free throw shooter last year. Sinks her first one this time, and there's a long 2 or maybe a 3 from Cassie Gordon. They're going to review it when we get an opportunity at the next time out. But for the time being, they're going to rule that one a 3 for Cassie Gordon. And then again, we'll go back and review it in a bit. Now a foul on the other side of things. Ariel Johnson whistled for the foul. That'll be her first. Again, for now, they have put it up as a 3-pointer for Nicole Rodriguez. We'll see if it stays a 3 or whether or not, that ends up being changed to a 2. But it's a 6-point lead as we sit in favor of Washington State as the Cougars will inbound with 8:40 left to play before halftime. Gardner at the 3-point line. Gives it to Motuga at the high post. That ball a little too high for him. It's taken away by Mark. Mark into front court. Hands off to Ariel Johnson. Johnson going to go baseline, and a little body from Gardner, and Kara Gardner will pick up the foul. That'll be her first. It's also the first against the Cougars here in the second quarter. Ball to be brought in on the baseline for LMU, and it will be the transfer from Florida, Ariel Johnson, to trigger it in. She'll fire it out to the top of the key to Rodriguez. Over it goes to Mark. Mark gets it now to, this time, Oliver. She puts up the shot, won't go. Sorber there to clean up the rebound. Sorber fires ahead to Tuhina. She's got a screen from Bella. Now looks for her on the roll, but not open, so settles for the pass along the perimeter to Sorber. Now a good delivery down low to Bella Murakatete, but they're got a roller for 3 in the key. Well, that'll be another turnover for Washington State. Meanwhile, the Lions will make a substitution. Turnover for the Cougars will be their 5th here of the first half. We've got 8 minutes left to play before halftime, and it's a 24-18 Cougar lead. Rodriguez curls around to the left, hands off to Johnson. Her shot from 17. Bella got a piece, and the carom comes down to Motuga for Washington State. Tuhina, Motuga, top of the 3-3. Got it! Ula Motuga with her second. 6 triples in the opening half for Washington State. And it's 27-18 in favor of the Cougars. Driving baseline. All the way in goes Allman before kicking out. Mark is going to fire up a 3. That's in and out. Rebound to Motuga. She'll wait for the defenders to clear, then get it up court to Tuhina. Tuhina now into front court. Will give to Sarver. Sarver with it at the 3-point line. Fakes to the left, goes to the right, tries to pass out, but it's deflected out of bounds. Last touching LMU. Into the ball game, Joanna Tedder. She ended up with a couple of 3s. Tedder with 2 early 3s for her 6 points. Pretty balanced scoring for the Cougars so far. Murakatete got 7, 6 from Motuga, 6 from Tedder. Here comes the inbounds pass to Motuga. Near corner, 3 ball on the way. Off the iron, no good, but Tuhina reaches up to get the rebound. Then ball is knocked away from her, but they say it goes off her leg, and it'll end up being LMU basketball. 7:02 left to play here in the second quarter. 9-point Cougar lead at 27-18 as Allman penetrates into the lane. That one dances off the rim, no good. Motuga with the rebound. Up court to Tedder on the outlet. She's cross-courting it to Sarver. Out top, Motuga. Another 3 ball on the way. That's another one for the 50-year senior. 3 threes for Ula Motuga. Leading Cougar scorer now with 9. And the lead jumps to double digits for the first time. It's 30-18. 6.5 left to play second quarter. At the top of the key, Oliver working against Tuhina to the free throw line. Now kicks out. Right side, Allman with it into the corner. 3 ball on the way. That one no good. Murakatete down with the rebound. Tedder now with it. She'll clear the timeline. Angles off to the right in front of the LMU bench. Now looks inside. Instead passes out to the top. Motuga over to Sorver. Back inside it goes to Motuga. But stepping in front and taking it away is going to be Alexis Mark. She gets it ahead to Allman. Allman at the 3-point line. Thought about firing. Instead will pass it over to Mark. She's going to go into the paint. Puts up a floater. It won't go. Battle for the rebound. Kick loose. They still battle after it. And on her back, Ula Motuga picks it up. 2-on-2 the other way. Tuhina stops at the free throw line. Now looking for trailers. Gives it to Bell out beyond the arc. She's going to attack Oliver. Into the lane. Spins. Puts it up with the left hand, but it dances off the back rim. No good. And the rebound this time cleared by Nicole Rodriguez of LMU. 5:25 left to play. First half action. LMU wants a timeout. That'll become our media break here in the second quarter, so we'll step aside. It's actually 5:24 as one more second ticked away. And with 5:24 to play before halftime, It's Washington State 30, LMU 18, but they are going to take a second look at a three that they called earlier. But for now, it's 30-18 as we step aside. And this is Cougar women's basketball from Learfield. Coming back, looks like they are going to officially call it a three for Nicole Rodriguez, so it'll stay 30-18, the score that we thought it was heading into the break, and so it will indeed stay at 30-18 in favor of Washington State. 5:24 left to play here before halftime from Beasley Coliseum as we get the 22-23 season officially underway. Again, the men to play later tonight. Glad to have you with us from Pullman as we start off the college basketball season. The three-pointer from Nicole Rodriguez confirmed, so 30-18, Washington State by a dozen. It'll be LMU basketball. It was an LMU timeout that took us into that break, so they've got three remaining. The Cougars have their full allotment of four, and with 23 left on the shot clock, LMU will inbound as we get things back underway. Washington State a little spurt here. As a matter of fact, a 6-0 run over the last 2.25 minutes. And for LMU, they haven't scored in 3.5 minutes. Tedder knocked the ball away. Cougars were hoping it would be ruled off of Cassie Gordon, but they say Tedder the last to touch it. So now right out in front of me, the ball will come in with 14 left to shoot. And Emma Nankervis is going to be called for a foul on the inbounds pass. That'll be her first. So Nankervis will pick up her second, or I should say her first, the team's second. And again, they'll inbound right out in front of me. Cassie Gordon gets it into Johnson. Ariel over to the left-hand side to Oliver for a three. That one's off the side of the rim and ends up out of bounds. For a minute, I was wondering what Ula was doing on the baseline, then realized she's a sub right now. Our bench goes all the way around the corner down there. Okay. All right, so in any case, that's a full bench we've got, by the way. A lot of people on that bench. Not sure if all of them are necessary on the bench, but they're all there anyway, and here we get going again. It curls all the way around. Midway through the second quarter, 30-18, Washington State by a dozen, and Tedder will give it off to the right-hand side to Charlize Ledger-Walker. Oh, beautiful pass. And Tara Wallach, a wide-open lay-in. Give the assist to Charlize Ledger-Walker, and Wallach has her first two. That goes along with the three earlier, and she's got 5 points. Meanwhile, a little reverse layup on the other end, but no good. And then Curvis comes away with the rebound on the missed reverse layup from Ariel Johnson. Inside again to Wallach. Little turnaround jumper. Looked like there was a foul that went uncalled, but the rebound comes down to LMU. Now Mark going to make her way baseline, spins, brings it back out to the top of the key to Gordon, now to the high post. With it there is Clark, back to the near side to Mark. Mark is going to take it to the free throw line before kicking out to Johnson for a triple. That's in and out. Spins off, and the rebound to Washington State. And a foul whistled against LMU this time. They're going to rule this one on Mark. That'll be her first. That's the third against LMU with 4:06 left to play in the second quarter. And it will be Washington State basketball. Tuina will take the inbounds pass. Again, you'll see her play the point a good share of time, but others will shift off there as well. Charlize Ledger-Walker now at the top of the key. Finds Nankervis. She loses it, though, and ends up turning it over, and it'll be Johnson to come away with it for LMU. Out to the top to Gordon. Now floats a pass inside, but stepping in front of it, Charlize Ledger-Walker for the steal. Doesn't have numbers, so we'll slow things up. Give to Tedder for a deep three. That one's off the mark, no good. Tara Wallach ripping away at the rebound, brings it back outside, and the Cougars will reset. 3.5 to play here in the second. It's the Cougs by 14, 32-18. They've opened things up, and they will do it a little bit more on a Tedder three. So Tedder's third triple. She's got 9 points. And the Cougars have now outscored LMU 16-5 here in the second quarter. And their lead is out to 17. Right corner of the elbow from the free throw line. That one up and good from Ariel Johnson. That will stop a bit of a Cougar run and make it 35-20. Pass inside to Nankervis. Now to Charlize Ledger-Walker. Over to Wallach it goes. Tara's going to move into the lane. Nice little spin move to the right and banks it up and in. 7 points for the sophomore out of South Surrey, Canada. And the Cougars lead now 37-20. So again, a lead that was only 6 at the end of one is out to 17 now as Johnson forces her way inside. That one won't go. Tedder with the rebound. Gives it to Charlize Ledger-Walker, filling up a lane to put it up and in. Well, Charlize hasn't done a ton of scoring yet today. 5 points, but she knows she can get hers in a hurry. But has been more of a facilitator today. Already has 5 assists for the Cougars to go with her 5 points. Meanwhile, a pass inside. That one off the mark, no good for LMU. The outlet to Tuhina. 2-on-1 developing. Tuhina to Wallach. Wallach will put it up. Left it a little bit short, though. And the rebound to LMU. Maybe just a little bit more patience on that 2-on-1, and they could have had a layup. In any case, LMU with it with 1:45 left to play in the second quarter. Johnson out high on the left. Starts the dribble, starts the drive, loses it. Kicks it back out, though, to Cassie Gordon. Back inside it goes, trying to bully her way inside and putting up a shot and drawing a foul is going to be Kari Clark. Well, don't know if she deserved it, but she drew a foul, and she'll head to the free throw line. Who'd they call that? Oh, and they also called it on Charlize, so add a little salt to the wound because that'll be her third. So 3 now on Charlize Ledger-Walker as they call that one on Charlize. And that is going to be a couple of free throws here for Clark. The 6'2 senior out of Denver, Colorado, has 2 points. This will be her first 2 free throws. And her first one's on the way in. Off the mark, no good. Cougs have shot 1 free throw on the day. These are the 3rd and 4th for the Loyola Marymount Lions. They did call it in the act of shooting because it was only the 3rd foul on Washington State. Clark's second free throw up and good, so she goes 1 out of 2 from the line and has 3 points. By the way, Charlize is on the bench with her 3. Kaya Woods has made her way into the contest for Washington State. Also in is, once again, Kira Gardner, the freshman from Raymond, Washington. Woods gives it to Gardner at the top of the key. She'll hand off to Sarver. Sarver to the right, gives it back to Woods. Woods looking inside, back to Sarver. Into the corner, 3-ball. Wallach on the way, hits the iron and falls off a little short. The rebound comes down to Alexis Mark. 65 seconds left to play, first half action. It's the Cougs by 18 in the season opener. They lead 39-21. Allman out in front of us, out high on the left. Takes it to the foul line, kicks out to Oliver. Oliver working on Woods, going to try and move into the paint. Kaya Woods is going to draw the offensive foul. So Kaya Woods, don't know if it's generous or not, but I think it is. 5'3" is what they listed. Going up against 6'2" Oliver. So if you go by what they're listed as, she was giving up 11 inches there, but was holding her ground and ultimately gets the offensive foul whistled on Oliver. Now Kaya Woods will bring it across the timeline with 3/4 of a minute left to play in the first half, and the Cougs leading 39-21. Off a screen, Sarver gives to Wallach, right back to Grace. She'll give it back to Wallach. Wallach fakes to the right, goes to the left, now changes direction in the paint, little crossover, a spin move, and couldn't quite finish. Had the right idea, but just lost the handle, and the loose ball comes to LMU. They can play for the final shot of the half if they want, as it's down to 15 seconds of the shot clock off, but they're going to instead bully their way inside. Shot puck won't go, and the ball off the back of the rim leaves the Cougars 10 seconds. Woods, who can get it up court in a hurry all the way to front court, puts up a shot, won't go. Ball is loose. Sarver's got it. She's going to put one up at the horn, and that one will go for Grace Sarver. So the Cougs get the final 2 points of the first half. With that, they will get to 40 and above. Grace Sarver found the loose change in the cushion and cashed in. And with that, Washington State will take a 20-point lead in the locker room. Well, we welcome you back here to Beasley Coliseum. Second half about ready to get underway. Well, Marymount, LMU, back with their same starters that they had in the first half. Cougars will do the same as we get things rolling. as it was a halftime score of Washington State 41, LMU 21. And now the two teams breaking their huddles. It'll be LMU ball here in the second half. Each team will be attacking the basket at their own bench this time. So as we sit here on press row, LMU will attack for you folks on the radio, left to right, and for the Cougars, right to left. And the second half underway as LMU will get it to the high post to Clark. Spins, now looking for Johnson. She comes back and curls around and takes the handoff. Will get it out for a three ball. That's off the heel of the rim, no good from Cassie Gordon on the rebound to Washington State. Ula Motuga open, left wing, three ball. Got it! Ula Motuga, the first to double digits. And how about Ula with 4 triples on the day? She's got 12 points and is nearing a double-double with 12 points and 7 rebounds. Meanwhile, shot up on the other end, no good. Rebound down to Charlize Ledger-Walker. There comes Charlize back into forecourt. Stops, fires one to Motuga. She goes out top to Tedder. Tedder feeds it inside to Bella Maricatete. Nice spin move to the left, but left it just a little bit short. And the rebound comes down to LMU. By the way, the 4 threes made by Ula matches a career high. She had that against USC as well. Meanwhile, the rebound on the other end is brought down by Tedder. Feeds it ahead to Maricatete. Nice pass to Tara Wallach. In transition, the Cougars will add 2 more. And the first 5 out of the break to Washington State. It's 46-21 in favor of the Cougars. Into the lane, Johnson will finally get 2 for LMU as she attacks in the paint. She's again having the bulk of the scoring placed at her hands today. 12 of the 21 for LMU coming from Ariel Johnson. Meanwhile, the Cougars back with it, up 46-23, a minute and a half gone by in the third quarter. Little no-look pass to Bella, can't find the handle, turnover, and here comes LMU the other way. Behind the back end of the lane goes Mark, and a nice little trip to the hoop for Alexis Mark, as she will go coast to put it up and in. So after 5 straight from the Cougars, LMU battles back with 4 in a row. Good leading pass from, this time, Charlize Ledger-Walker, but the shot hangs on the rim and falls off. Bella will still get a couple of free throws as they call the foul on Ariel Johnson, her second. So to the free throw line will go Bella Maricatete. She's the only Cougar to shoot a free throw today, and she shot only 1. LMU hasn't shot a lot either. They're just 3 out of 4. Meanwhile, to the foul line will go Bella Maricatete. Apparently, the first half earrings are okay. Second half, not so much for Vi Oliver. They're going to make her take off a piece of jewelry before she comes back in. Meanwhile, to the free throw line goes Maricatete. Again, 7 first half points for her. And now to the line to shoot 2. 8:03 left to play here, third quarter, with the Cougars up 46-25 for this noon start. Now Bella, first free throw, snapped up there. That one's perfect. She's now 2 out of 2 from the line and has 8 points. Gets ready for her second free throw here to try and extend the lead out to 23. And free throw number 2 on the way. That one's in and out, no good. Charlize Ledger-Walker gets the rebound. Foul called. Bucket counts and a chance at a 3-point play. Foul on Ariel Johnson again. It's her third, but Charlize Ledger-Walker now dueling her for the board, and then not only gets the basket, but a 3-point play opportunity. So the now junior with a total of 7 points, and to the line, tries to cash in, and that'll make it 4 this trip. The first free throw from Bella and a 3-point play from Charlize, and it's 50-25 Washington State. Just under 8 minutes to play, a third quarter action here in the season opener. With the ball, Yancey over to the far sideline. With it there is Mark. Gives it back to Yancey, now into the corner to Almond. She gets cut off, finds a player down low, and putting it up and in is Kari Clark. So she's got 5. It's 50-27 now. Cougars back in front court. Pass fired into the paint. There to deflect it away, LMU. It'll stay with the Cougars on the baseline. 23 left to shoot. 7:29 left on the third quarter clock. Washington State and LMU today, and then a quick trip to the Bay Area this weekend for Washington State as they'll take on San Francisco before returning home to play Prairie View A&M. And that matchup coming up on Sunday. Bella gets the ball, will drive it down the lane and deposit it up and in. So Bella to double digits. She's got 10. Two Cougs now in double figures, and it's 52-27. There's a long two from Almond who puts it in from about 18 feet away from the top of the key. She's got her first two. And we're going to have a ball that ends up out of bounds, and it will go back over to LMU. 6:59 left to play here, third quarter. Cougs led by 6 at the end of a quarter. Pushed that lead out to 20 at halftime, and right now up by 23 with just under 7 to play. There's a steal from Charlize Ledger-Walker, gonna race ahead. Allman tries to stop her, but can't, and 2 in transition from Charlize Ledger-Walker. Well, just like that, she's got 5 in the quarter, and she becomes the third Cougar to double digits this afternoon. She's up to 10. 6:35 left to play in the third, and the lead is out to 25, 54-29. Rodriguez from 18 feet away. That one good from straight on from Nicole Rodriguez. She's up to 5 points. It's 54-31, Washington State. Wallach looking for cutters. Tedder at the top. Gets a screen from Bella. Now bounces it to her on the screen and roll. Bella lost it, gets it back, puts it up. Foul whistled, and she'll head to the free throw line. Foul called on Alexis Mark, her second. And earning 2 more free throws will be Bella Maracatete. Meanwhile, Estera Tuhina getting set to check in. She will make her way in as Ula Motuga will have a seat. Again, great to see Ula back for her 5th year at Washington State. A key component on this team. Does a lot of the little things for Washington State, but has done some of the big things today. About 12 points and 7 rebounds for Ula. Meanwhile, Bella at the free throw line. That one a little bit short. Now 2 out of 4 from the line on her way towards 10 points so far. And now gets a second free throw. This one on its way. That one off the mark. Another offensive rebound for Charlize Ledger-Walker. No good. Bella flies in after the rebound and will earn a couple more free throws. Amaya Oliver going to pick up the foul call. That's going to be her third personal. 4 now against LMU. Still 6:06 left to play, so a good chance the Cougs will end up in the bonus in this period. Bella made her first 2 free throws, but now gets ready for this attempt. On its way. That one off the mark, no good. So all of a sudden struggling a bit from the foul line. And now getting ready for her second free throw this trip, and that one's a little bit short. Going for the rebound, but there to haul it in will be Nicole Rodriguez, and a foul whistled on Bella. That'll be her second. Made her first 2, but has now missed her last 5 at the free throw line, so that won't feel good for her. We'll hopefully get a few more opportunities to put a little better feeling into her at the foul line. We're down to 6 minutes to play. Cougs are up 20 at halftime. They've outscored LMU 13-10 so far in the first 4 minutes of the second half, as we've gone just under 6 to play in the third quarter. Oliver curls off a screen into the lane, shifts it to her left hand, misses, rebounded Tahina. Long up-court pass to Bella. She'll have a layup on the other end. It's a dozen points for Bella Maracatete. So she joins Ula with 12 for team high honors on the afternoon. And we're down to 5.5 left to play in the third, and the Cougs extend their lead out to 25. Ball goes inside, in and out of the hands of Lion, and it will be Washington State ball on an LMU turnover, their 7th of the day. LMU has struggled somewhat from the floor, shooting just 29%. The Cougars, meanwhile, 55% shooting so far today. 5.25 left to play in the third. Pass inside to Bella, spins to the left, puts it up with the left hand, left it a little bit short. Battle for the rebound, tipped back out by Charlize Ledger-Walker. The Cougs will get a fresh 20. Back inside to Bella again. Attacks, puts it up at the right hand, and gets 2 more. So some paint points for Bella Maracatete. She's up to 14 to lead all scorers, and the lead is out to 27 That now becomes the biggest lead of the game for Washington State. And LMU will fire up a long two on the other end, off the mark, no good. And a foul whistled against LMU, or is it just going to be out of bounds? Just out of bounds, but it takes us to the under 5 timeout here in the third quarter. 4:43 left to play in the third. It's Washington State 58, LMU 31. The Cougs now up 27 in Pullman for the season opener. You're listening to Cougar Women's Basketball from Learfield. 4:43 left to play, third quarter. Washington State has steadily built the lead from 6 at the end of 1 to 20 at halftime, and now a 27-point lead midway through the third quarter. Washington State has outscored LMU 17-10 here in the third. As we welcome you back to Beasley Coliseum, 58-31, Washington State with a 27-point lead. 3 Cougars in double digits. Bella Muracatete has had a good third quarter. As a matter of fact, Bella with half of her 14 points coming here in the third. She's got 14 to lead the way. 12 points from Ula Motuga. And also 10 from Charlize Ledger-Walker for your 3 Cougars in double digits. Meanwhile, Ariel Johnson with a dozen for LMU. Tahina's got it out at the top for Washington State. The point guard will drive in. They're going to call her for an offensive foul on the pass and crash, and so she'll be whistled for the offensive foul. Tahina will pick up her first. It's been a cursory look so far at AT, I think they like to call her, but she has got all what you would think when it comes to ball handling skills. She is going to, I think, continue to grow in this program under the tutelage of Cami Etheridge and her staff. Here's the pass off to the left wing for LMU as they get it back. That's off the foot of Tedder, and a kick will be whistled. The shot clock will stay put at 21 with 4:19 left to play here in the third quarter. Cougars up 58-31 against season opener. They get a chance to play here at Beasley. Maybe not an ideal noon start time, but nonetheless, here we are to get the season underway, and then again to San Francisco over the weekend, and then back here at home before a trip to the islands. There's a corner jumper from LMU. That rims off no good. They get the offensive rebound, though, and they're going to whistle a foul against Washington State. We'll see if they call this one on the ground or not. It'll be on Tedder. Tedder will pick up her first. It's just the third on the Cougars, and they will call it a common foul. So it'll be ball on the baseline to LMU. Meanwhile, Nan Curvis checks in for Tedder. Inbounds pass coming from the Lions. Looking all the way out to the backcourt to retrieve it will come Layla Curry. She will then in turn give to Cassie Gordon, trying to feed it inside, but mishandled and picked up by Tahina. Long down court pass to Charlize Ledger-Walker for an easy 2. Charlize has slowly, steadily built her total up to 12. She had 5 at halftime, 7 here in the third quarter. And it's 60-31. And off will go this time to Curry. Her shot in the paint, off the glass and good. I'm sorry, that was Noelle Yancey with the bucket off the window for LMU. So she gets 2 back for the Lions, and it's 60-33. Tahina up top to Charlize Ledger-Walker, and it goes to Wallach. Tries to pass it out, deflected, and last touching LMU. The Cougars will inbound on the baseline. 3:17 left to play third quarter. Cougs up 60-33, trying to remain perfect in program history against LMU. They've won once in Los Angeles, once here in Pullman. That's the third all-time meeting between the two programs. The Cougs 2-0. Charlize Ledger-Walker tries to send it back out top, but it's swiped away and taken away. As there to get the steal is Curry. Now the pass goes into the corner to Yancey, who goes baseline. Gives it with the bounce pass into the corner. That 3 ball off the mark. Rebound ends into the LMU bench, and it will be Washington State ball. Last time these two teams squared off was in Los Angeles a half a dozen years ago. Cougars took that meeting rather handily, 92-45. a little bit closer back in 2014 when the Cougars won by 7. Meanwhile, Wallach in the paint. They're going to whistle for an offensive foul. Now they're going to call a foul on Tara Wallach and wipe away the bucket. Coaching staff didn't like it. Charlie Sledger-Walker didn't like it. Wallach also asking what she did wrong. Yeah. Player falls down and they gave it to her, so probably not the best of calls, but with a 27-point game, we'll probably let it slide. Now driving in goes the point guard for LMU. Tries to deposit back out. Tahina got a hand on it. Still loose, but LMU collects the loose change. Into the corner it goes. 3-ball put up from Rodriguez off the mark, and then on the back will be this time Layla Curry, as she was on top of a Cougar player. She'll come at her first 15 foul, so that'll put the Cougars into the bonus with 2:16 to play in the third quarter. And it means Tara Wallach will toe the free throw line. Tara, again, sophomore season for her out of South Surrey, Canada. And probably a player to really be interesting to see how she does as the season goes along. We saw her talent last year as a freshman, but she is so versatile as a player. A player that averaged just over 5 points per game last year, but you know, with her extended minutes, that number is going to go up this year. Makes her first free throw, second one on the way, and that one's good as well. As a matter of fact, here in the opener, Wallach now is up to a total of 11 points. So with those two free throws, has become the fourth Cougar to double digits on the day. She's 5 away from a career high. Did score 16 last year against Utah. All right, there's a 3 from the corner off the mark. Rebound coming down. It's going to be corralled by LMU, and they'll get a second bite at the apple. Into the lane, then the pass in low. There's a shot put up by Mark off the mark. And the rebound comes down to Tahina. Tahina in the front court with it. Has it at the three-point line. Delivers to Wallach. She'll pump up a 3. That one rims away. Rebound to Grace Server. Gives it to Nan Curvis, then back out to Tahina. And the Cougars will reset with still 15 left on the shot clock. And Curvis has it out high. Hits a cutting Tahina. She'll put one up in traffic, and that one good. And it's the first points in the career of Estera Tahina. So AT has her first Cougar bucket of her career. And it's 64-33. Washington State, their lead over 30 for the first time this afternoon. Shot from 19 off the mark, no good. Rebound down to Tahina. Long down court pass to Emma Nankervis. Stops, now will attack, spins, loses the handle, gets it back, then tries to pass it off and be fouled by Noelle Yancey. So Emma Nankervis a chance to head to the free throw line. The senior out of Australia to the stripe with 52.5 seconds to play. Motuga also checks in. She will come in for Tara Wallach. Meanwhile, Emma Nankervis to the free throw line for Washington State. Trying to become the 8th Cougar into the scoring column, but that one high off the rim and rattles off no good. We'll have another opportunity coming up. Cougs so far with 23 points here in the third quarter have outscored the Lions 23-12 in the third. And Nankervis with that free throw does become the 8th Cougar to score today and has her first point on the afternoon. Just under 50 seconds to play, third quarter. Cougars now dominating, up 65-33. There's a steal from Tahina. Swipes it away, loses her footing, but is tripped up by Alexis Mark. And that'll send now Tahina to the free throw line. Cougars had shot just one free throw in the first half. This will be their 12th and 13th free throws of the third quarter. Now they haven't been great at the line. They're just 6 out of 12, but they have been getting to the line here in the third quarter. And now our first chance to see at the free throw line for Tahina. Again from Kosovo by way of Spain. First free throw up, and that one's perfect. So Tuhina has her third point. Another free throw due with 39.7 seconds left on the third quarter clock. And Tuhina's second free throw also good. She's got 4. 67-33 as the Cougars have outscored the Lions 26-12 now here in the third period. A third period that's down now to the final half a minute. At the free throw line, it's Clark. Over to Rodriguez. Goes down to the baseline. Back out to Clark at the three-point line. She'll penetrate in on Raymond. Puts up a shot, won't go. Ball is loose in the paint. Coming down with it, LMU. They've got 12 seconds still. Comes to Yancey. Feeds it inside to Clark. Puts up a shot, won't go, but they'll call a foul on Motuga. So Ula Motuga will pick up the foul. That'll be her first.
Foul call to number 15, Ula Motuga.
So to the free throw line, it will be LMU, and it will be Kari Clark. Clark 1 out of 2 so far from the free throw line, has 5 points. And we'll try and capitalize on a couple of free throws here with 7.7 seconds remaining. Does hit the free throw. We'll have one more on its way. Again, men play at Texas State this afternoon at 4:30, part of the doubleheader here from Beasley. As we're officially into basketball season now. Shot won't go. Rebound down to LMU, but then taken away by Grace Sarver, but she loses the handle going up court, and they'll turn it over, and it will be LMU with 1.6 left to bring it to the length of the court and to try and heave one up. Inbounds pass will come in. The heave will come late, and the end of the third quarter has arrived. And as a matter of fact, the heave never came. All right, 3 quarters in the books here from Beasley. Washington State has outscored LMU 48-21 in the last 2 quarters, and with it, they built up a sizable lead. It's the Cougs by 33 at the end of 3. Washington State 67, LMU 34 as we step aside. Well, 3 quarters in the books and looking like it's going to be a successful season opener for Washington State. They lead at 67-34 here from Beasley Coliseum. And now just to put the finishing touches with the final 10 minutes here from Beasley Coliseum this afternoon. Washington State up 6 at the end of 1, extended that lead to 20 at the end of 2 quarters of play at halftime, and then outscored LMU 26-13 in the third quarter. So again, a 33-point lead, 67-34, and the Cougars will open up with the basketball as we start the fourth quarter of play here this afternoon. Motuga, Nankervis, Sarver, Tuhina, and also for Washington State, it is Gardner as well, the 5 on the court for the Cougars. Tuhina has it out high on the right, comes over and will give to Sarver. Sarver back to Tuhina, now into the near corner. They feed it inside to Nankervis. She spins to the left, puts it up and in. So the senior from Australia has her first field goal. That goes along with the free throw last quarter. She's up to 3 points, and the Cougars get the first 2 of the fourth. Tuhina gets a hand on that one, loses it, does LMU, but they scamper back to retrieve it. Will keep possession with now 15 left on the shot clock as they bring it back into forecourt. Little stop and go move all the way to the rim, and a nice little drive to the hoop by Sequoia Allman. She gets her second basket, has 4, and it's now 69-36. Just about a minute gone by here in the fourth. Tuhina from the top of the key gets the screen from Nankervis, puts up the floater. That's off the back of the rim, no good. Nankervis tried to tip it to Motuga, but Ula was on her way back to play some defense, so it ends up in the Cougar bench, and it will be LMU basketball. Now, Ariel Johnson back into the game. She had a good first half with 10 of the 21 LMU points. Had only 2 last quarters. Again, LMU just 21 points in the last 2 quarters of action. Did get 2 here to start the fourth on that bucket on the drive from Sequoia Allman. Allman again driving in. This time tries to feed it to Oliver, but it's between her hands and out of bounds. 11 LMU turnovers. Cougars with 14 so far on the day. And Bella will make her way back in. Emma to the bench. Charlize Ledger-Walker out there with Motuga, Tahina, Murkatete, and Gardner. Charlize Ledger-Walker setting up the play, gives to Tahina. Looking at Bell at the high post, instead drives in. Now we'll feed it back out. Charlize Ledger-Walker for three. That one deflected on the shot attempt, so it'll stay with Washington State. 11 left on the shot clock as the deflection did not hit the rim, so no reset. Meanwhile, on the inbounds play, it's an open layup for Bella Murkatete. So Bella with 16 now for Washington State, your leading scorer, and it's 71-36. Cougars with the lead with 8 and change left to play here in the fourth quarter. Almond into the lane, kicks out, three ball on the way from the corner, off the heel of the rim for LMU, but a rebound to Rodriguez and kicks back out to Almond. Sequoia will set up the play as Oliver comes over for the screen. Now we'll put up a three, and that one good from Sequoia Almond. So she hits the triple, 71-39 now. Murkatete trying to feed it inside, and now they're going to call a foul on Ula Motuga. She inadvertently hit Ariel Johnson to try and knock that ball away, and Ula will be whistled for a second personal. First against the Cougars here in the fourth quarter. 7:35 left to play in the contest, and again a big lead for the Cougars, 71-39. Oliver comes over for the screen. Now all the way down to the baseline. Kicks it back out, and a travel whistled against Nicole Rodriguez. Again, it's a rebuild for Erica Hughes, 11-19 last year in her first season. Does have some transfers that she's been working with over her first couple of seasons to try and build a competitive team in the West Coast Conference. West Coast Conference, of course, you got some good teams at the top, the likes of BYU and Gonzaga. Here's into the lane. Bella Murkatete starting to impose her force in the second half. She has scored 11 of her team-high 18 here in the second half, and Murkatete out to 18 points now. The right elbow, the key, Oliver brings it back out. Johnson will put up the three. That one's off the mark, no good. Bella hauls in the rebound. That'll be her fifth of the day. And back up court will come the Cougars. Ula Motuga, a three ball, got it! Corner pocket for Ula Motuga. 5 threes for Ula, and she's got 15. Meanwhile, in work down low goes Oliver, will draw the foul. Foul whistled against the Cougars. They'll call it against Bella. That'll be her third. Bella with 18, 4 shy of her career high, had 22 against San Jose State a year ago non-conference. Meanwhile, for Bella Murkatete, not only 18 points, but how about Ula Motuga with 5 threes? That's a career high as far as threes made in a contest for Ula. Again, last year showed how proficient she could be from the three-point arc at 47%. That was a record for the highest three-point percentage in a single season. Meanwhile, the free throw off the mark, no good from Oliver. Oliver ended up shooting a couple, and for her, ended up going 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Rebound down to Washington State. Just to finish the thought on Ula, though. Ula 5 out of 6 from the line so far here today as far as the three-point line. Foul whistled on Ariel Johnson. That'll be her 4th. So she's now got 4 with 6:12 left to play. Tara Wallach will check in. She's out there with Tedder, Murkatete. Glazier is out there as well. Lauren, another one of the new faces for Washington State, making her Cougar debut, a freshman out of Mount Si High School in North Bend. Meanwhile, all the way to the rack goes Charlize Ledger-Walker to put it up and in on what seems like a low output day from Charlie. She's still up to 15 points. Timeout taken by Loyola Marymount. And LMU will not only take the timeout, but that'll become a media break as well. So we'll step aside with 5:56 left to play in our basketball game. It's Washington State 78, LMU 39. This is Cougar women's basketball from Lairfield. Bella Murray-Katete with 18 points to lead the way. Ula Matuga, a career-high 5 threes in the contest. Those 5 threes have given her 15 points. And Charlie Sledger-Walker with 14 for Washington State. So all told for Washington State, they have 4 players in double digits. Cougars out to this 78-39 lead. The 4 players in double digits for Washington State. Again, Bella with 18. Motuga's got 15. Charlie Sledger-Walker with 14. And Terrell Wallach's got 11 for the Cougars. LMU with the ball out of the timeout. They still have a couple timeouts remaining should they wish to use them. Pass comes near side, gets a piece of a Cougar before it ends up in the bench for LMU, and they'll inbound it with 14 left on the shot clock. Inbounds pass will come to Sequoia Ullman. She's got it now, top of the key for LMU. Over for the screen will come Clark. Ullman goes into the corner, back out to Ullman. That three blocked by Wallach, and then a shot that ends up being a little bit late as a shot clock violation. So that'll officially go down as the 13th turnover for LMU today. Cougs with it now. A 39-point lead and 5.5 left to play fourth quarter. Charlie Sledger-Walker out to the top to Tedder. Feeds it to the high post to Bella. She'll go into the paint, draws the foul, and that foul will be called on Kari Clark. That'll be her first. Meanwhile, it's the second against LMU, so ball to be brought in on the baseline. Cassie Gordon back into the contest. She'll come in for Alexis Mark, and it'll be Charlize Sledger-Walker to inbound with 5:16 to play here in the fourth. Comes into Wallach. Wallach at the top of the key, fires it over to Tedder. She gives it to Bell on the baseline. Will go baseline and was nudged out of bounds, but the nudge will be called as a foul on Kari Clark. That'll be her second. Third against LMU. That'll take us down to 5:08 left to play in the fourth. Amaya Oliver will check back in. She'll come in for Clark. And again, it'll be Charlize Sledger-Walker to trigger in on the baseline. And if you couldn't make it with us today, and I don't see anybody here with their 81, we're back at you here from Beasley Sunday. And one road game between now and then when the Cougs head to San Francisco. Charlize Sledger-Walker into the lane. She'll finish. Give her 2 more, so her total's up to 16 now in the contest. And we're past the midway point of the fourth, and the Cougars up 80-39. Oliver around the three-point line. Kicks out. That was Gordon. Then got it to, this time, Layla Curry. That ends up off of Wallach and out of bounds. And that's now going to take us to the under 5 media timeout. So 4:38 left to play here, fourth quarter. We'll step aside from Pullman. It's all Washington State at this stage. It's the Cougs 80, the Lions 39. And we'll be back to wrap things up from Beasley and get you the final 4:38 after this. It's Cougar women's basketball from Lairfield. Well, Washington State again, 80 points already in this one with 4:38 left to play. They've gotten there by shooting nearly 59% from the floor and 56% from the three-point line. Cougars 31 out of 53 from the floor and 10 out of 18 from the three-point line so far. As a matter of fact, their three-point shooting and field goal shooting has been better than their free throw shooting today. But as we welcome you back here to Beasley Coliseum, 4:38 remaining, and the Cougars trying to mop up an 80-39 victory and finish off in a good final 4:39. LMU trying to work on things for the final half of this fourth quarter to try and springboard into game number 2 of their season. Oliver going to drive in, going to get that shot up a little bit late with the shot clock violation. We ended up with the players kind of waiting around because the officials were tapping their head for the violation, but didn't hear a whistle until it finally came. But that'll be a turnover for LMU, and the Cougars back into forecourt with 4:20 left to play here in the basketball game. Tedder handing off to Charlize Ledger-Walker, back to Tedder. Tried to feed it inside to Nankervis. Cougs perhaps a few more turnovers than they'd want. 16 now, and now a 15th turnover for LMU as they turn it right back over to Washington State. So turnover each way. 4:09 left to play in the contest, and again the Cougars up 80-39. Tedder will deliver it to Nankervis, right back to Tedder. 3 from straight away is going to graze the iron and fall off. Rebound, though, comes down to Washington State, and that'll be Lauren Glazier picking up her first 2 points as a Coug. The freshman out of North Bend, Washington, now has some collegiate points in the bank, and it's 82-39. Oliver at the three-point arc, gives it right side. With it there, Johnson out to Oliver. Now hands it back off, and we're going to have an illegal screen whistled against LMU. That foul will be whistled on Amaya Oliver. That'll be her 4th. Meanwhile, Gardner and Tuhina will check in. And that'll leave the 5 on the court being Kaya Woods. Also Tuhina, Nankervis, Gardner, and Glazier. Sarver is getting set to check in, but thinks she might come in at the next dead ball. So the inbounds pass to come in, and it will come into Kaya Woods. And the Cougs will clear the timeline with 3.5 left to play. Woods to Tuhina. Tuhina back over to Kaya Woods at the three-point arc. Now back up top to Tuhina. Shot clock at 14 for the Cougars as Nankervis comes over for the screen. Tuhina into the corner. Gardner a 3, rolls around the iron, and after a 360 pops out, and then a rebounding foul called on Emma Nankervis. Her second personal, 3rd team foul against the Cougars, and it'll be LMU with it for the possession with 3 and change left to play here in the fourth quarter. Ariel Johnson working with Kyle Woods at her hip. Ariel going to drive in, gets a shot. Over for the help came Nankervis. Ball down to Washington State. Jailbreak the other way on a 4-on-1. Gardner with the fake of a pass and then lays it up and in with the left hand. So all of the newbies now with points for Washington State. Tuhina into the scorebook. Gardner, Glazier, and they've all picked up some points now in their first game as a Coug as Kyle Woods flies in after the rebound. She will take it the other way for the Cougs with 2.5 left to play in the contest. Tuhina now at the three-point arc, out high on the left, gets the screen from Nankervis, draws a foul. That'll be whistled on Nicole Rodriguez. Into the contest will come Kari Clark. That's the 5th foul on Loyola, so it means Estera Tuhina to the free throw line to shoot 2. Mentioned some of the new faces for Washington State. Tuhina's got 4, the freshman originally from Kosovo via Spain, and misses that free throw. We'll have another one on the way. Gardner's got a couple of points. Glazier got her 2. And now Tuhina's second free throw this trip is up and on its way, and that one's good. So she's got 5. And the Cougs are up to 85. It's 85-39 Washington State with 2.25 left to play. Gardner tips away the pass, steals it, clears it ahead to Tuhina. She looks for trailers now. Instead, will pull it back. Goes into the corner to Glazier, then back to Tuhina. Tuhina around a Nankervis screen, kicks it out. Gardner, 3-ball on the way, got it! How about Kara Gardner with a triple for Washington State? And with that 3, the Cougars have 11 in the contest, and Their total is out to 88. It's 88-39 in favor of the Cougars. There's the screen for Johnson. She'll put one up from the left elbow, off the mark from 16. Glazier down at the rebound. Gardner up the far sideline. Gets it over to Kaya Woods near side. Back up top to Tahina with 1:25 to play. And another hand check and a grab called on Cassie Gordon. That'll be her first. So again, the Cougs 11 out of 21 now from the three-point line. They are 34 from 58 at just under 59% from the floor in the contest. Meanwhile, Tahina back to the foul line where she is 3 for 4. Make it 4 out of 5 as she sinks that free throw. Cougars have gotten to the line here in the second half. Had only one free throw attempt in the first half. This is their 17th of the second half. And Tahina snaps that one up there. It settles in as well. She's up to 7. So a good Cougar debut off the bench for her. And Tahina will get a round of applause as Grace Sarver comes in for her. So all in all, a good day for Washington State. 90 points on the offensive scoreboard, a 90-39 lead with 1:20 left to play in the season opener. Oliver around the screen, all the way to the rack. Can't get it to drop, and the rebound down to Kaya Woods one more time. She races it the other way for Washington State. Comes off a Nankervis screen, tries to get around the defender. Foul whistled. Now Kaya Woods will try and enter the scoring fray for Washington State. As Woods to the foul line to try and give the Cougars their 91st point of the afternoon. Woods set, free throw up. That's off the mark, no good. She'll have one more. Sophomore from Tiffin, Ohio, who came on for the Cougars last season. And now one more free throw with 1:04 left to play. That free throw's up. That one's good. And now everybody that's played is into the scoring column. All 12 Cougars have scored here this afternoon, and it's 91-39. Ariel Johnson takes it down to the baseline, kicks it back out to the top of the key as we're under a minute to play now at Beasley. And all 12 Cougs have scored. And it's the 7th time that the Cougs have put 90 or more on the board under head coach Cammie Etheridge. Here's the pass down low. Shot blocked away by Grace Sarver. 4 left on the shot clock. 37.5 seconds left to play here in the contest. But again, other than a few minor things, maybe a few too many turnovers, free throw line wasn't as great as we wanted it to be. It's been a successful season opener. There's a shot from right of the paint. That one's up and good for Kari Clark. You know, a tough way for the Lions to open up, but I think this is a team that could improve as the season moves along, make some noise in the West Coast Conference under Erica Hughes in her second season. Down to the final 20 seconds of the contest. Woods at the three-point line. She'll drive in, tries to put up a shot, will draw a foul, and will head back to the free throw line. Layla Curry charged with the second personal. 15.4 seconds remaining. And a chance for the Cougars to add to their already 91 points on the day. Free throws on the way, and that one's good. So Kaya now with a couple. Cougs with 92. And the second free throw for the sophomore up and good as well. 93 on the day for Washington State as it's 93-41 in favor of the Cougars. Final now 10 seconds. We'll see if LMU gets off one more shot. Probably will. Don't see why not. 5 seconds to go. Curry's got it. Down to 3, down to 2, down to 1. They actually will not. So that's it. Ball game over. Washington State just about wire to wire. LMU did have a 4-3 lead at one stage, but the Cougars led 19-13 at the end of one. They were up by 20 at halftime, and they rolled to a 93-41 victory, outscoring LMU 52-20 in the second half. And with that, the Cougars improved to 1-0 on the season.